questions. So in an email, whenever the main purpose of an email is most of the time to either inform something or to get information from someone else, right? Like if you want to talk to your manager or your boss or even your workers, and if you want to know their insight of something, like if you want to know what they're thinking about and what their tasks will be and so on, that is when you will be asking them a couple of questions. So how do you ask that questions? Do you go on and say, what are your thoughts about this? Or are there a few formats? So there are a few sample sentences once here. So I can say that when will it be convenient for you to dash? Let's say you're meeting someone or you're about to or you're willing to meet someone in the first place. Let's say you are interested in having someone on board with you at a job. So someone whom you've never met before. So before you just directly tell them that meet us at this particular place at this particular time, it's very formal and it's also going to make that worker feel better if you ask them for their preferred time. So instead of just blatantly telling the time, you can just say, when would it be convenient for you to meet, right? So that is how you can ask your question. Then you can say, have you given any additional consideration to then this? Like in a workplace, maybe you are doing some tasks or whatnot, and then you're asking that person, have you thought about it, or do you have any particular idea in mind, right? Then which option would work best for you? Let's say you're giving them two different times, like you can meet me tomorrow at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So you can then ask them which option would be the best for you, right? Then similarly, you can also say, what would you like us to do next? That now that I've already given you this email, I've given you the information, now if you're interested to work with us, please let us know. So as a result, you can say, what would you like us to do next? You can also say, would you like us to, and then continue. By this I mean that would you like us to continue, or would you like to do this or do that, right? You can say, would you prefer to this? By like and prefer, they almost mean the same thing, but by preference, I mean if you have any particular consideration in mind, you can tell that to us. Would you rather this or this? Like, would you rather meet me at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m.? How would you feel about, and then continue. So you can say that how would you feel about your thoughts of this particular project that we are doing, right? Then you can say, is it possible to, and then ... Let's say the other person that you're talking to has said that no, I will not be able to be free at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So as a result, I will be conversing to you at, let's say, 9 p.m. However, that is not a time that you are flexible with. So you can just say that, is it possible for you to make it 8 or something, yeah? Then you can say, could you, and then do something. Like if you say, could you check it please? Like I've already listed down the task that you're telling me. Could you now check it please? Okay. Then we say thank you. So almost at the end of the entire email, we will be using a few thankful words. Although that person has just received your email, maybe that person has not yet done the task that you are supposed to do, yet it is very formal and it's a matter of ethics and morality, and let's say just good manners in general. It's just good manners in general that at the end of a conversation we are supposed to use thank you, or we are supposed to thank the person. Like after every single class, you'll notice that right after saying everything, I tell you, thank you for watching. Why? Why should I thank you in the first place? Because why would I want you to watch my video? Aren't you supposed to thank me instead? So the reason why I am thanking you here instead is because this is just politeness, yeah? So it's just me being polite, that the fact that you've listened to me throughout the entire video means a lot to me. This means that maybe I am capable of making you understand a little bit of English, right? That is why we will be using thanking after the end of any email. So what can we say? We can say thank you for your consideration. Even if that person have not considered anything, yet you will say thank you for your consideration, hoping that in the future maybe that person will look into your email and then consider something. Yeah, I appreciate that you, then dash. Like, I appreciate that you took time to give me these details. Maybe that person has already given you an email beforehand, and that is why you can say, I appreciate that you have already sent me a email beforehand, but now could you send me these more details in the future? Then, thank you for taking the time to, and then dash. So most of the time, if you want to send an email to someone saying that no, it's not possible for me to hire you anymore because we already have chosen potential candidates. Maybe you were not as equipped as we thought. So in that case, if you directly say no, I do not want you as my candidate, this sounds very harsh. So instead of saying this, I can just say, thank you for taking the time to come and give your interview. We have enjoyed talking to you, and in the future I hope we can meet again, and if there is any position available, we will let you know. All right, so these are some sentences that you should use instead of just being vague about it. Okay, then comes giving good news. So now that that's over, sometimes in an email you also have to give good news, and sometimes you also need to give bad news. So by good news, I mean that how can you actually let that person know something that's very exciting. Should you let that person know that wow, you have won a lottery or something like that? No, don't just go abruptly like that. You can say the things more subtly, like, we are pleased to announce that, or we are pleased to inform you that you are the winner of our lottery. Similarly, you can say, we have some good news for you. The good news is now you can purchase the same products at 50% discount, or something like that. It is my pleasure to let you know that, and then go on with the news. So you can say, it is my pleasure to let you know that from today onwards, there is going to be a sale at, let's say, this shop, XYZ shop. Then you can also say, I'm glad to tell you that, like, I'm very happy and I'm pleased that this right now is going to happen. At the same time, you can say, I just want to let you know that this is a fact that's happening. So I'm glad that you're asking me. So I wanted to let you know that this is happening. You can also say, you will be pleased to learn that, or you will be pleased to hear that. Then go on and say that this is why you should be pleased. Similarly, we also have to know that there are some ways in which you can also give bad news instead of giving good news. So how do you tell these bad news in the first of all? You do not just say, oh, this bad news has happened. No, you will say something like, I regret to inform you that blah blah blah. So sometimes you might ask, no, I don't regret, because the sad thing that is happening is not on me, it's for you, it's not my fault. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you have to be polite, you have to be nice, right? So in that case, if you are telling someone that this is a position that is unavailable for you, not anymore, because there's someone else who have taken your position, you can just say, we regret to inform you that we cannot take you in our company, and so on. Similarly, you can say, I regret to inform you that due to a mistake in our database, and blah blah blah. Maybe you have made a mistake in the past in your company, and now you're saying that due to a mistake in our database, this has happened. Then, unfortunately, we cannot, or we are unable to, and then continue. You can say, unfortunately, we cannot continue in our work, or we cannot look into our finances, maybe there are a few difficulties, and so on. Then, after careful consideration, we have decided not to, and then explain what. I'm afraid it would be impossible to, and then continue, or due to dash, it would be impossible for you to do dash. It's against company policy to, and then continue, or despite my best effort, it has been proved to be impossible to dash, which means that I've tried a lot, But now there's nothing I can do about it. Okay.